studio by David Perry. He's a former homicide investigator and CEO at Investigative Solutions Network, Inc. Dave, good to have you with us.
Good morning.
Such a disturbing case, right? Because we've got a missing 5-year-old and the grandparents, and it seems, you know, for now, very little information. We have police scouring a field in Airdrie. They're going through a dump. A lot of our hearts sink when police start going through a dump because you think the worst. But,
of course,
you know,
yes.
Take us through why they're doing what they're doing here.
Well, it always seems like there's very little information because that's what the police have to do. We can't release information to the public on an ongoing investigation. But the searching of the dump and the searching of fields and lots of acreage is very standard procedure. You know, you have to eliminate things, and then one of the things you have to eliminate is any potential site where bodies could have been placed. And that doesn't mean that everybody's trying to remove hope here, but, you know, God forbid if we didn't do that and it turned out that that was actually the case, that would be even worse. So they have to do their work, and part of their work, and it's only one piece and it's a large piece, is massive searching.
But what this suggests to you is they do believe at this stage anyway there was some foul play, perhaps, right?
Well, the police have stated that publicly. Yeah, there's foul play involved, and when people are abducted in a home invasion or in a situation like this, you know, you've always got to consider the worst scenario as well, and that's obviously what they're doing.
But you hope that, you know, these are survivors, that, you know, the worst has not transpired. So
you know, we're all praying. I mean, I think that everybody in this country is hoping that this will be one of those extraordinary cases where all three of these people are recovered and that they're going to be fine. And of course, we have to remain hopeful if and until we find out something else. But the reality of a police investigation is that you have to look at every scenario. And there is a possible scenario where, you know, something bad has happened to these people, and it's the police's duty to make sure that they find out what happened and that they recover people, no matter what the state is, and that they find out who's responsible.
Knowing what has been reported on the case, what can you piece together as to what may have happened here, or is it just, you know, too little information to really even try to surmise or guess?
Well, I think in the early days we all had a difficult time trying to consider what the theory might be. But, you know, it would appear to me that at this point this was a crime that was motivated by greed, that was motivated by somebody with the intent to gain profit somehow from these people. It has the appearances of being attached perhaps to this estate sale. And when you look at cases like this, if that is in fact what's going on here, more often than not the perpetrator somehow has a connection or has some knowledge of the family.
Why would you take all three people, though?
Well, that's the difficult piece.
And a 5-year-old, especially,
a 5-year-old, right? And I truly believe that no matter who's responsible for this crime, my sort of inner thought on this one is that they weren't aware that there was a 5-year-old present at the time, and that he just became a very unfortunate additional victim to this whole horrible scenario. So I can't think of a worse crime that's happened in this country, to have a little boy and the grandparents all missing like this. I grieve for this family, and, you know, all we can do is hope that they're going to be recovered safely. Yeah. But the police have a lot of work to do, you know, and we can't, you know, I can tell you I've done cases like this before, and we can't hang our hat on the fact that there's little information coming public. That's normal. I can tell you this is the largest criminal investigation in the country, and everything that they're doing right now is completely appropriate. It's at the highest level. They put in tremendous resources in this, and I'm just very impressed. And you know, I actually feel for the investigators too. I've been through these cases. They're the most difficult thing on investigators that you could imagine. So there's a whole country that is pulling for not only the family but for the investigators to have some success.
Oh, the prayers continue for sure. Dave Perry, good of you to take the time to talk to us. We
Always
appreciate
my pleasure.
it.